Hey everyone, welcome back to Busy at Work. This is episode 4, and today I'm going to be going over some cool new treats on the California cannabis market, as well as some top news headlines, and I'll also be doing a part 2 on Clubhouse. I got such warm reception on that topic on episode 3 and a ton of questions. So I have them all here and I'm going to go over a few of them and just give you some best tips and tricks of how to use the app, how to connect with people, how I use it, and have been using it, at least in my opinion, pretty successfully. So welcome back. I'm really excited to have you here. I've officially been doing this series for a month now, so if you also have any feedback of anything you'd like to see or hear, please let me know, and I hope you enjoy episode 4. All right, let's dive into some goodies. I know that Valentine's Day is coming up too. However you're celebrating with yourself, because number one, and or if you're celebrating with a more special someone or a friend, family, however you're celebrating this year. I know holidays for the past year have been a little wonky, but we're getting through it. We're getting through it together and a little medicated, so we're all good. First, I have Canna's new belts. These are high dose belts. In California, you still have to stay at 100 milligrams per bag to stay compliant. But what Canna did is they created these belts. Here, I'll show you one. I won't eat one right now though, but okay, can almost never get these open. For all my audio listeners, the packaging for cannabis in California is a little crazy. So there's these belts, and they're like fruit chew belts, and they have, you can see the little divots where these are each 10 milligrams per serving, but this belt itself is 50 milligrams, and I've tried it, and I'm more of like a high dose consumer, I guess you'd say, but I can't do 100 milligrams deep immediately. I'm someone who really likes to, take 5 to 15 milligrams and kind of ease into the day, because I really use edibles for pain management, mostly. I use them for fun too, but for pain management, I do actually stay at a lower dose, but build on it throughout the day in kind of more of a microdose manner, if that makes sense. But these are also really low sugar, and that for me, I keep looking for lower sugar treats because of course I love edibles. I've talked about them a lot, especially on this podcast, but if I eat too much sugar, it really affects me. I know a lot of people have been trying to cut out sugar, and so the fact that Canna is working toward lower sugar in their formulations and their recipes, I just love that. I've been riding with this brand for a while, and they're very trustworthy in California, in my opinion. And then another really cool thing I want to show you. So this is from Sweet Flower. This is in Los Angeles, and they sent me some really fun. First off, look at this cute bag. And then they sent these little hash-infused rosette joints. This one is Calm and Focus, and it comes with 4 little mini pre-rolls. And this one is a Brighter Day. We love a brighter day. So these little packages have 4 mini hash pre-rolls, and then it also came with a mask. We love that. And this little joint holder, so cute, and a lighter, which, I mean, everyone needs a lighter all the time because of the thievery that takes place in this little community. If you know, you know. And then last, I don't know if I want to smoke one right now. I haven't actually smoked on this podcast before because I don't know, I've been too nervous that I will forget or something what I'm talking about. I'll take a hit beforehand or have some CBD or something, but I'm a little anxious to actually sorry, listeners, coffee sip. Ooh, that's still really hot. I just burned my tongue a little bit. I hate that. But yeah, I haven't actually smoked on this yet. But you know, this one's called A Brighter Day, so maybe let's crack it open. Okay, I think I got it. We got it out. That's what she said. So here's the little joint. I know there's been a lot of controversy over mini pre-rolls, but I personally really like them. I think a lot of pre-rolls are honestly rolled really poorly and just don't smoke well. So the mini definitely helps and makes it like less clogged and just like a much smoother sesh, and it's good for a single sesh. Cuz I mean, I'm not sharing joints for a minute, trust me. You guys can do you, but I will be doing personal joints from here on out. I don't think anyone will argue with that after this year. I'm gonna get the joint holder ready. This is so cute. And then we push up like on this bead. How adorable. Look at that. All right, let's see how this smokes. Brighter Day. This is honestly perfect for the podcast because I can just, sit here like being really classy. For all my audio listeners, I have my little joint ring. And it's gold and pretty. Oh, this is gonna be a fun podcast where we just leveled the fuck up. All right, let's. Oh, I almost forgot. Look, this is why I wasn't gonna smoke. I almost forgot to show you one of the products. I know me. I know. All right, next, I do have the new Plus strains. So Plus Gummies came out with these really cool strain-oriented edibles. So this one's Pineapple Express. The other one I just showed you was Lemon Jack. And I already had all the Granddaddy Perp. Those are gone, but they were good. I recommend them. But it's really cool that there's now more of a focus on strains and how different terpenes affect you and affect your sesh, because I really think it's time for us, especially with the genetics now, I think it's going to be time to move away from, the conversation involving sativa, indica. I feel like that's I'm just not sure if it still applies in the same manner that it used to, given how this industry has evolved. So the fact that we're, now playing around with terpenes and stuff, I'm just really excited to see more terpene and strain focused products. All right, now we can get into the news. Honestly, I'm not sure if there's too many ways to better start your day. And the coffee cooled down a little bit. Perfect. All right, we'll take one more puff and then put this to the side because it is time for news. Go sit. This thing is supposed to be an ashtray. Okay. For news. Welcome. You are listening to a very stony episode of Busy at Work. Thanks for joining. So there is a lot going on in the news, just in general in the world and in cannabis. Today is the inauguration of Joe Biden, or President Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris will be our first Black Asian woman vice president, which is so exciting. It's never happened before. We are getting so close to really, it sounds so cliche, but breaking that glass ceiling. And there's been so much momentum for women and for Black women and for Asian women and, people of color. And it's really cool to see that happen, especially, as a woman. So it's cool. I don't want to sound like some type of, I know a lot of people are like, nah, whatever. Like, but it's awesome. It's such progress. And I am here for it. So also, big news with his administration, a lot of the nominees who have been appointed to the Department of Human Health and Services are pro-cannabis. And so that will set a really, really, the environment will be ripe for just possible federal movement. I personally, just given this year, cannabis becoming essential, but only in states that are legal, there's like states don't even have it right yet. So I just don't see this year being like the year, but I do think there will be federal movement to some extent. It will just really be interesting to see what extent that is. On the other hand, a lot of states are now cracking down on cannabis advertising. Counties in California are working to make it so that you can't utilize billboards, and this has been a rule for a while, just no one's really been enforcing it, but now they are. And in Maine, a shop actually is being fined $10,000 because they used an image of a mermaid. And you can't, in some states, there's laws where you can't use certain imagery that may attract people who are under 21. These are also similar to tobacco laws and other things of that nature. So definitely be mindful if you're a business and working on packaging, look to the north. Like Canada has such strict advertising laws. It really has to be pretty bare bones. And there's a lot of really, there's a lot of argument that a lot of brands that are currently on the market they wouldn't be compliant under those guidelines. So make sure that as you are building your brand, you're being very careful with what you're doing with your packaging, with your branding, and just look at places who have already legalized or are just further along in their cannabis journey than the US, because you'll see that advertising is very, very different, and you really have to be compliant or you can, spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions in fines, or just entirely lose your business. So please be careful there and make sure that you are staying compliant or getting prepared to be in a more compliant environment in the cannabis industry. And lastly, coming out of Australia, they have a ton of incredible endometriosis research. They have health institutes that are basically dedicated to helping find more information about endometriosis and to help people who menstruate, create better treatment plans for themselves and better management plans for their chronic pain. And so the NICM, they are doing a study about endometriosis and cannabis. And so if you are diagnosed with endometriosis, it's an international study. It is more anecdotal, but we just have such little information in this area that if you are a candidate for this, I absolutely recommend looking into it and participating, just so that we can continue to learn more and give people who menstruate just better pain management options, because within endometriosis, it's just such a painful chronic condition. It truly is. And any type of movement forward there that we can get in just making our lives more livable is so important. So definitely look that up. I'll be linking more information about all the things I just talked about in my blog. So definitely go check it out if you're looking for just, more research there, or if you want to participate. And thanks for listening to Busy at Work. We just have one more segment left, but I appreciate it if you've made it this far. And now on to my favorite topic, Clubhouse. I might just make this just a Clubhouse podcast exclusively. I might have to change the name. I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I really dig the new app Clubhouse. And so exciting, the club that we applied for that a ton of moderators and stuff have been a part of, how to enter, or it's really called How to Get Into the Cannabis Industry. I want to change the name though, because I should have put How to Enter the Cannabis Industry, but it's How to Get Into the Cannabis Industry. I don't know, word stuff. It just doesn't sit right in my mind. I'll change it when I can. I promise I do. But so how to get into the cannabis industry became an official club. There's already over like 100 members, and like people are following it, and we're doing special rooms with it, whether we're just like chilling with all the moderators that are coming through, or we're doing like a more panel style Q&A for people who are, of course, looking to get into the industry. And so I'm so excited that that's like officially a club, and there's a ton of great people who come through. I'd have to like read off a list of names, but I really hope you join. We do rooms like at least once a week, so definitely go follow and turn on your notifications for it if you're on Clubhouse. So after my last episode, I got a lot of different questions about just how, best to use the app, how I've been using it. And so I did write down a few things and wanted to just address like some really specific ones. And so a lot of people are just really lost on like, just in general, like what is your hallway? Like how do you even like navigate the app? And so when you're first entering, especially when you're new to the app, it's a little bit tough. It's a little bit more tough because you haven't put in your interests yet, which is something you can do now. And you can look for places rooms by interest. And so you want to go down your hallway, and when you start seeing rooms or people of interest, join them and, be a listener, like hear what they're saying. Is it more conversational and free flow, or is it, like I mentioned, like a panel? If you have a question, be a part of it. Or if you have something to contribute and you have a lot of knowledge in a certain area, go up on stage, like share your experiences, share your work. I think that's been just the best way that I've been doing it, is just always being true to myself and going into rooms that I'm either have experience in or I want to learn more about. Like I love the crypto rooms. Be careful though, do not take financial advice from Clubhouse or any app unless it's someone you really trust and do vetted research. I just have to put that out there. But there's a lot of crypto rooms with a lot of just extremely intelligent people, and I personally want to learn more about like NFTs and crypto art and stuff. But I also love cannabis. I love like mindfulness, so I'll go into some rooms like that. I also love media, so I'll join some of those rooms, or social media rooms. It's really like Reddit meets an interactive podcast. So just how you use that, like r/ whatever your interest is or want to join a conversation on, use it that way. And then also follow clubs of interest. So when I say follow how to get into the cannabis industry, you'll get notifications when it goes live or when other admins from there are doing rooms from it. It all just stems from who you follow, essentially, and what clubs you're a part of and what you follow there. And then if there's people that you're looking for, also go through who's a member of that club or following it. Sometimes you can hide this, but I've seen most of them are public. Just go down and follow all of those people, and you'll start to get notifications when they join rooms, and then you can go join that room. And then vice versa, like when you start to know people, or like, you want to pull someone in who might have some really good feedback on something, you can ping them. So like if I want to tag someone into a room I'm in because I'm like, oh, they have really good insight here, let's bring them in to speak more on this topic, I'll like send them a little invite, and typically they'll come in and be like, oh, this is the thing I know a lot about. And so I really, really like it. I think it's just been a fun place to connect, especially in a time where it's so hard to do that right now for obvious reasons. And also start your own room. Once you get used to it, get the hang of it. I mean, you can start a room for literally anything. You can talk about your favorite plants. This morning I was in a room for talking about best New York City breakfast spots, and that was really fun. And it kind of, delves into different conversation and memories and other experiences people have had that you might share in some way. And it's just a cool connection point that I love. And so if you have anything you want to start a room about, I highly recommend that you do. And once you get more consistent with it, I think you have to host at least 3 rooms, but the rules are constantly changing and updating. definitely submit for a club, because then you can start building more of that audience. Like, especially if you have like a community already or a podcast, like you can do it right there in Clubhouse and really not only just build your following, but better foster the community and following that you already have maybe elsewhere. And so I just love this space for not only fostering community, but like making the one you already have so much stronger. Lastly, the biggest thing in Clubhouse is honestly the follow-up. If you are talking with someone in a room or you're hosting a room, and there's people that you want to connect with or DM, definitely hit them up. Hit them up on Twitter, on Instagram, and make sure you're going through with it and you're following up and you're like keeping that connection outside of the app. Because I talk a lot about like, oh, in the app there's all these great connections, blah blah blah. Like, that doesn't mean anything if you're not taking action on it and emailing them. Like, some people even have their emails in their bios now. Like, I've been very aggressive and intentional about the people. I mean, not aggressive, but that came out kind of weird. But like, I've been making sure that the people that I want to continue speaking with on something, I've either gotten their email to contact them later when I'm ready, or I'm DMing them saying like, hey, I really just appreciated what you said. Would love to stay connected for further future projects down the road. Or if there's something you need right then and there, ask for it. This is such a place to really say what you want, and for people who know themselves and know what they want and like know what they're looking for, or if they find something they're looking for within the app, like go fucking after it. Like, get it. Do it. Do it now, because you can talk all day in that app. You can meet 1,000 different people, but if you're not following up after, it's like almost completely meaningless, unless you're just using it as, a fun connection point. That's awesome. But for people who are more, looking to do business and create partnerships and whatever, it's a really great app for networking and doing that with. So follow up is always key. All right. So that's really my most recent tips on Clubhouse. I'm still getting used to the app and just finding best ways to use it. I'd love to hear if you guys have started any clubs. I'd love to come join or check them out and just see who else is in there. So let me know in the comments. And thanks for joining another episode of Busy at Work. I've been loving doing this podcast, and it's just been really fun. I can't wait to bring some guests on and just delve into a ton of different topics, even ones that I may not be an expert on, but maybe someone I bring on will be. So it'll be a great learning experience too. I've also submitted episodes 1 through 3 to Apple and Spotify, so keep your eyes on those platforms because you'll be able to listen to the audio there. And until then, visit my YouTube channel, my website, and Instagram, and that's where all the current episodes are live. So thank you again. I appreciate you guys for listening, for joining. If there's anything more you want to hear about or see on this show, let me know. And I appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your week.